And good evening, Sackville, and welcome home. And welcome home to the 13th ranked Gonzaga Bulldogs. Now 7-3 on this season. And in town out of the Southland Conference, the Nicholls Colonels. Welcome inside the McCarthy Athletic Center, and now welcome courtside. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas to everyone, and it's great to see you. Greg Heister, Dan Dickow, Richard Fox. Okay, guys, they've lost 2 in a row. That doesn't happen often here. What is the mood, and what should it be?
Well, look, 2 classic games for Gonzaga. I think there's a lot of positives they can take away despite the losses, but certainly a lot they need to tinker with and get better at.
Well, it's been 2018 since they've lost 2 consecutive games. I expect that to change tonight, and it needs to, because there's 2 warm-up games before Christmas break, and UCLA looms large after Christmas.
And the great slump buster, number 0, Ryan Nembhard. We've got him, don't we?
Well, he's been terrific this whole season. He is leading the country in assists per game at over 10, and the efficiency in which he's doing it is incredible. 6-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. His scoring is about the same as last year. His shooting percentage in particular from three has improved. He's on track to be an All-American.
And Richard, this is not the 13th best team in the country. It's a top 10 team because of guys like number 99.
If Battle's got it going, Gonzaga's going to be tough to beat all year. Really, he's got himself out of a shooting slump. 5 games before UConn, 4 of 26 from the three-point line. Went off, 4 of 6, particularly that first half. Without Battle's efforts, I think that game gets away from Gonzaga.
And here's your starting lineups. Gray, Ireland, Ellis, Collins, and West. For Nicholls, Ireland leads them with just over 13 points a game. There you see Nembhard, Ajayi, Hickman, Battle, and Graham Ike for Gonzaga. 7-3. And lost to Connecticut. Gonzaga led by as many as 18 points in that game before losing it. And then, boy, they showed a lot of character on the road. That was really a road game against the University of Connecticut at Madison Square Garden before losing by 7. We're underway. Greg Heister, Dan Dickow, Richard Fox. It is Nicholls, the Colonels, and the Gonzaga Bulldogs. And first shot and tip back, they're going to say they're not going to count it. That was interference. Mecky Collins up high. That ball was still over the cylinder.
Well, you see right away Ireland's quickness with the ball. Last time out, 22 points against New Orleans. Doesn't get the layup to go down, but Gonzaga's going to have to keep him in front, particularly when they switch and you've got a big guarding him out on the perimeter.
All right, where do you want to see him go early, guys?
Well, I would expect try to get Ike involved. He had 28 against Kentucky, then really struggled at Madison Square Garden against UConn. Only 4 points, 4 fouls in about 14 minutes.
Shot from the corner, short by Ajayi, and rebounded by Collins, and back come the Colonels. And there's a good-looking bucket inside Jamal West.
Well, this is a really good Nicholls team. Lost in the Southland title game a season ago. A lot of experiences returning, sitting at 7-4 coming into tonight. They've played a good schedule. Went at Cincinnati. They are not going to be intimidated by this Gonzaga team.
And the takeaway is Ireland stepped in front of that pass. Possession will stay with the Colonels. They've been picked to finish 3rd in the Southland Conference. So I'm sure when many people looked at the schedule, they looked at this week, we got Nicholls, formerly known as Nicholls State, coming in here, and maybe they assumed it would be an easy one. Will it be, gentlemen?
Well, defensively is where they pride themselves, on that end of the floor. They'll change things up, mix man and zone, some traps, some full court pressure. But in talking to Coach earlier today, he said our first responsibility, what just gave them problems, got to get back in transition, build a wall. That time Ike sprints by their bigs, puts foul pressure on them, gets to the line for 2 free throws.
Well, Nicholls really doesn't have any size. Tallest player, 6'8". Previous possession, Graham turns it over. Watching Mark interact with him. Mark's telling him every time you get the ball, you need to look to score. Every time. And I think that's a good way to get him going. But we have to remember, Graham before that UConn game, the previous 3 games is averaging 20, nearly 10 rebounds a game, shooting better than 57% from the field. We can't let one game color how effective he's been, not only this year, but throughout his career. He just has to see the ball go through the basket a little bit after struggling the other night.
And it goes in from the free throw line. And we are tied at 2. So the Colonels now will set up on offense. Ajayi out to watch the ball. Battle takes it away. Here comes Nolan Hickman. Nolan, a little stop and go. Now he'll pull it out. Caleb Battle the drive, got into the lane, and there's a late whistle, but a foul nonetheless called on Byron Ireland.
Battle puts so much pressure on the defense, getting to the free throw line, putting the official in a position where he's got to make a call.
Well, it's interesting when you're trying to guard him, when he's trying to tee you up, kind of rock you to sleep. He likes to jab left, or rather step left and shoot that three, but he's so good driving with his right hand. It's just difficult to keep him in front.
What I like about Battle's game is that he's never, ever, 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 ever used the jump stop.
You like that?
I love it. He's just going to come right through you, Dan Dickow.
That's not how I thought.
Dr. Coach Jerry Krause is
Battle,
a stickler for the quick stop. We had that practice every practice.
Battle goes through the lane, he's coming through you. I love that.
Well,
that's not how I thought that sentence was going to finish itself. But.
Yeah, he is for the most part in traffic, he's a 1 foot jumper, yes.
That sounds like a type of bird. A 1 foot jumper.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. It's a beautiful time of the year. If we could just get some snow. Splitting the defense there was Gray. Shot at the rim, loose ball. That's out to Ellis. And now the corner three is off from Ireland. Gonzaga on the move. Ajayi catch, and he's blocked at the rim. Gonzaga ball 25 to shoot, and you guys talk about Nicholls' defense, and there it was in transition.
Well, get back, protect the rim, stop the ball, and then build a wall so you can't have angles to get to the rim, put foul pressure on.
Well, look, I mean, it's certainly a different level of a schedule so far in the year, but Nicholls holding teams under 39% for the field as Graham gets over that right shoulder. And more impressive, about 27% from three, so they'll get in the stance and guard you on that end.
5-2 Gonzaga. Ike with 4 of the 5. Ajayi with the defense. Nice hanging hit by Mecky Collins. And it's 5-4 GU. Nemhard right back at it. Battle, quick trigger. Corner three is a little long. And the rebound out to Gray. Back come the Colonels. Ireland, boy, looking to score. Oh!
He's a creative finisher on the interior.
Quick riser, too, Dick.
Not a shooter, only 19%, but you just see how patient he was there with that drive. Ended up in a post, kind of a post touch.
And then he takes it away from Battle, Richard.
Right now, Nicholls has to like the start of this game. They're under control.
Nice pass.
Oh, and the feed and the slam. No whistle, but Collins with the dunk. And it's 8-5 Nicholls. They're on a 6-0 run. Ike, that one short of the rim, and a foul called on the floor. And that'll go against number 15, Jamal West, the senior from Baltimore, Maryland. So 3 seniors and 2 juniors in this starting lineup for head coach Taven Sadler in his second year. It's an experienced team. You know they're not going to come here afraid. Students not in attendance. They're home experiencing Christmas break. Ireland, another steal.
That was a tremendous double team, opportunistic, timing the dribble from Ike on the post up.
Foul called on Battle there as Ellis had gotten to the baseline and was looking to drive. Right now it's Nicholls looking like they're on their home floor. A little jump hook inside by Ireland, and then the great feed by the point guard. And it's 8-5, Nicholls in front. Brought to you by Northern Quest. Gentlemen, go to work. I've been carrying.
Well, I think Gonzaga has to handle their pressure. We've seen already Nicholls is willing to climb up full court, as well as if the ball goes in the post, they're active, ready to double down.
Yeah, look, I mean, spread the wealth. What I mean by that is get everybody involved. Let's let everybody feel, you kind of get those good vibes going, particularly Graham, and Nolan, after really struggling the other night in New York, let's see if they can get going tonight. Guys like Ajayi, Greg, can they see the ball go through the basket from behind the three-point line? You know, you said it at the open, Dan, this is a get-right week. It needs to start right now if you're Gonzaga. This is a slow start for them.
Well, don't forget, they've been away from McCarthy Athletic Center for nearly a month. The last game we called was against Long Beach State. Since then, they've been to the Bahamas, they've been to Seattle, and then back to the East Coast to New York.
Great ball movement there. That one goes around the rim, explores the world, and drops Michael Gray the three, and it's 11-5.
That's what Gray does. Nearly 70% of his shots from behind the arc.
And almost a steal there by Ireland.
Boy, Ireland is everywhere.
Graham Ike out of the game. Here comes Braden Huff. Dusty Stromer checked in after that last time out. Here's Stromer. 8 to shoot for Gonzaga. Dusty at the elbow. Huff, it's got to go.
Got to recognize the shot clock.
Got to shoot it. Didn't know. Stromer doesn't get it off. And a shot clock violation and a turnover. And that is 4 turnovers in the first 5 minutes for GU.
Right now, Nicholls not looking to double. Letting both Ike and Huff go one-on-one. And Nicholls' defenders have done a good job just holding their ground, and they're trying to force Gonzaga's bigs just to shoot over a body. It's been effective so far.
And they've also done a good job of shadowing that right shoulder because they're both left-handed jump hook specialists. Make them spin over that other shoulder where maybe they're not quite as comfortable.
Guys, Gonzaga with 5 field goal attempts to this point, but 4 turnovers, and they're 1 for 5 in those attempts from the floor. Ireland got a round battle, missed the shot, Huff the rebound. Nembhard to push it. Boy, Ireland kept him in front. And here's Ben Gregg on the floor. Huff, jump hook, high off the glass. Free throws after a foul on number 15, Jamal West. That's 2 fouls on West. What is it about teams, gentlemen? And is it that as fans of a program, we get spoiled when we see a well-oiled machine maneuvering so often, and then we start a game like this, or we see a second half like we saw against Kentucky, and our expectations are just, what, too high?
Well, I think it's a testament to the program where there just hasn't been a lot of these moments. And so when you see one, even if it's short-lived, you know, it's natural to quite frankly, if you're a fan, to panic. You know, the trick is if you're in the room, if you're, you know, the staff, the players, you have to have a longer-term view. These are long seasons, you know, and there's a grind to them, and there's going to be ups and downs. I think for Gonzaga, I mean, you lose 2 games in a row. Certainly, that's disappointing, but you know, you're playing against top 5, top 10 teams. I think you have to have a longer-term view and have that perspective. You can't overreact.
Boy, Ireland just has a great change of pace to his game. And a foul called inside. And that'll be on Caleb Battle. I believe that's his second. That's 2 on Caleb. He'll come out of the game. Here comes Nolan Hickman.
You know, it's hard. You're coming off 2 tough losses. You come back to the kennel. There's no students, right? So now you got to create your own energy. You know, either individually or collectively. Maybe you're down. You're just not feeling it. At the end of the day, that's on you as a player.
Yeah.
Right? You've got to get yourself going. And right now, this seems like an awfully flat group for Gonzaga.
Ireland.
Wow.
Eyes in the back of his head. Boy, what a great move to get into the inside, but Brown missed it. Rebound by Hickman off the bench. And now Nolan now with the push. Into the lane, hangs. Oh, there's a big-time bucket for Nolan Hickman.
We need to see more out of that from Nolan Hickman. Terrific block out on one end. Pushed it in transition. Could have been at the line for a 3-point play, but I think they need more scoring punch and aggressiveness out of him.
Shot from
4
the
free throw
corner.
attempts on the season.
Off from Sincere Malone, foul called against Nicholls. But my favorite thing about that bucket a moment ago by Hickman, it was through contact. Watch him go right into it with his body. Love it.
Yeah, that's what you have to do when you're pushing in transition without a clear lane. You got to create contact, get the defense off balance, break their rhythm. Maybe if they've got length, the ability to use that length against you. Terrific finish there from Hickman.
Zags now 2 of 6 from the floor. Down by a 2 of 3 here. We'll get him back on top.
Soft pressure here from Nicholls, just trying to eat into the shot clock.
You're going to see a lot of different looks from Nicholls. You're going to see some zone, some man, some switching on the perimeter in particular.
Huff. Great fake and then use the glass.
Good patience there.
He ought to score 50 tonight.
Well,
that's a lot of points, Greg.
But he ought to score 50 tonight, Richard. I'd expect the same from you if you were playing. You're 7 feet. Robert Brown from downtown.
Brown, another guy for Nicholls, who makes a living outside the three-point line. Nearly 70% of his shots from three as well. You've got to mark these shooters for Nicholls if you're Gonzaga.
Huff missing. Zags now 3 of 8. Trey English, number 1 with the ball. Nembhard defending. English, a redshirt junior from Baltimore. English with 5 to shoot. This is Brown. I think Hickman got a finger on that shot. Nembhard with the ball in his head up. Explosion to the rim. Left hand won't go, but free throws to come. That's one of my favorite things to watch him do. It's in that open floor, Dan, when he's kind of lulling you to sleep, and then all of a sudden there's this explosion to the rim, and he's hanging with the finger roll high off the glass.
Well, he plays with such
so beautiful,
great pace. He gets the ball up the floor quickly. His head is up at all times, ready to make the right read when he sees what's happening. And in that particular instance, everybody goes theirs because they're so worried about his passing ability that then he's able to use that burst and get to the rim and create foul pressure, get to the line.
Nembhard now with his first 2 points. 14-13 Nicholls. Trey English with the ball again. Huff shows, and now English again working on Nembhard, but man, Ryan Nembhard's defense has been good this year. Stromer with some good defense, but in and out there, shot by Michael Gray, but Stromer went chest to chest on that defensive effort. 11:55 to play in the first. Surprisingly, a good game in Spokane. Trivia question is brought to you by Arby's, your delicious neighborhood meat crafter. Stop by Arby's today. Arby's, we have the meats. How many games did it take Coach for you to win 100? Text your answer to 83200. Is it 126, 101, or 132? I was in attendance for that.
That'd be pretty impressive if you
actually
only
called
took
the
him
game.
101.
I think Greg was present at the first Dr. James Naismith game in Springfield, Massachusetts, way back when.
It feels like Greg's at all the important stuff.
That's crazy.
What was the first Super Bowl? I mean,
the Ice Bowl.
about that all the time. Yeah.
Wow, you guys are coming hard tonight.
The first Iditarod he was at.
What the heck?
He invented fly fishing.
Yeah, what if I did? Stromer has it poked away. Ireland with those quick hands, the run out and the lay-in, and they now lead by 3.
That's Ireland's 4th steal here, fellas. In less than 9 minutes. Just so active with those hands. A little zone here, a little zone look from Nicholls.
Ben Gregg turned down the 3.
Well, I think you're going to see a heavy dose of zone from Gonzaga's opponents moving forward. Not because they don't know how to attack it necessarily, but because it put a stop sign to Gonzaga's fast-paced transition attack after watching that Kentucky game.
Well, it also minimizes the impact of that high pick and roll where Nembhard is so good and Gonzaga's bigs are such a problem.
Zags now 0 for 3 from behind that three-point line to start. Hickman took it away up to Nembhard. A 1-on-2. Nembhard to the rim. Can't connect, but a foul called and free throws. Foul called on Robert Brown III.
Really first mistake we've seen from Ireland. Just kind of lost the handle there, turned it over.
I'm not that old.
Oh, he's still bothered. See,
Yeah, I
Dan?
guess so. Wow.
And we've talked about this. This is like one of the
but
like
it's-
7 or 8
you
things
guys
he's
are
super
acting
sensitive
like,
about.
You're acting like you're young.
38.
You're as young as you feel, as you think you are.
Well, then I'm like 18.
We've seen how you act, so.
Then I'm like 12. 16, 15. And I'm not changing, Dan.
Ah. You beat to your own drum.
Nicholls with 7 fouls. Gonzaga already into the bonus with 10:28 to play.
A great defense from Huff there in help side. Hickman went for the steal and got beat. One of the things Gonzaga does such a good job teaching their bigs is to contest vertically, straight up and down.
Guys, Gonzaga has played nearly 10 minutes of basketball without an assist.
Just don't see that.
Ever. Huff. Here's Stromer from the elbow, jumper, short.
Now, he missed that, but I like that shot. You know, he's shot it really well over the course of the season, so he's beginning to be on the scouting report as a three-point threat. Lift fake, one dribble pull-up. I know the analytics these days don't like it, but it's still an important part of the game in my eyes.
There's Dusty. And again, the ball taken away. Another steal by Nicholls. And a foul on Stromer on the putback.
Ellis is a problem guarding the ball. That's the second time he's got his hand on the ball up top in a one-on-one situation. He's got great length, showing the anticipation right here. Nembhard puts the ball in front.
Ireland's done this. Nicholls just done a really good job of just getting those active hands. I mean, how often do we talk about this? Just have active hands. And Nicholls done a great job of that tonight and just forced some really uncharacteristic turnovers for GU.
Whoa. 8 points now for Nicholls off of Gonzaga turnovers. Free throw here would make it 9. Michael Gray, number 9, checking in for the Colonels. Brown hits them both. The Colonels back up by 3. 9 of Gonzaga's 15 points coming from the free throw line. Another takeaway and a run out by Sincere Malone.
That's turnover number 7 for Gonzaga. This is a Gonzaga team that ranks top 10 in the country when it comes to protecting the ball, just 9 a game.
Great look from Hickman. Right now the Zags stuck in the mud and a bit of a funk.
Oh, you got to credit Nicholls in their activity on the defensive end more so than Gonzaga and what they're doing offensively. Disruptive, active hands.
Oh, Nicholls with those turnovers, 6 points in transition, rather 4 points in transition, finding ways to get some easy points.
3 on the way, that's short from Robert Brown. And Greg with his second rebound. Nembhard pass.
That's the first pick and roll. He's really been able to come off clean and put that defender of the screener in a bind, whether he's going to hard hedge or switch. Terrific read there from Nembhard to Greg.
All right, guys, if you're Coach Few, how do you handle this over there?
I suspect he's anxious to get to halftime, but you know, I mean, what you're looking for is someone on your team to be a catalyst for the group. It could be 2 guys. It's not typical. It's not a big time dunk. It's an effort play or a stretch. You know, sometimes it's on you as a player and you as a team. The staff's got nothing to do with it. You know, if you're frustrated because you're not playing, you didn't play well the other night against Connecticut, ultimately that's on you.
And doesn't a coach have to rely on your personal pride to say, okay?
No, but that's the point, right? You can't. You know, we talk about next play all the time, Dan. You know, you've got to. It's that next game mentality too. You cannot let the UConn game that's last 2 losses linger.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got over half your season ahead of you, and Greg, you always say this: all their goals are still in front of them.
Yeah.
But right now this looks like a group that's just, to your point, stuck in the mud,
going through the motions.
Yeah, and still kind of just living. Have the feelings of those losses are lingering.
There's some good patience inside, but unable to finish was Ellis. That play a moment ago was brought to you by TDS Fiber. Hickman lost the handle inside. Another takeaway by Nicholls.
Turnover number 8 here, guys.
And now Ireland looking for more. Malone back to Ireland. Under 8 to play in this opening half. Good Stromer, good defense. Shut the ball off. Ellis had to give it up. 4 to shoot. Ireland, a lot of dribble, jump shot.
Yeah, that's a dagger, but you like the possession if you're Gonzaga. Stromer, to your point, Greg, excellent there.
And Huff with a great catch to keep it in play. Keeps Gonzaga to within a point. Three on the way. Lining that up, sincere Malone. And he was sincere about that shot, trust me.
Oh, that's only his second 3 of the year.
Ben Gregg missing on the answer at the other end. Nicholls up by 4 now with the ball.
Well, if you're going to come in and get a big-time road win in a place like this, you have to hit some timely threes. You have to force turnovers and keep this crowd out of it, which is exactly what they've done tonight so far if you're Nicholls.
Nembhard at the free throw line, throws it up. Huff. Huff now into double figures.
On his way to 50, Greg.
Hey.
Let's hold him to that comment, right?
No. I didn't say he would score 50. I said he should. Keep throwing him the ball. (12 to shoot. Amarian Ellis against Huff. Little bump, missed the shot. Defense by Huff caused the miss. Stromer the catch. Zags pushing the ball up. Nembhard. Corner 3. Hickman is off the glass. Huff the rebound. Put back nose. And a chance for 3. Well, Nicholls now 10 of 27 from the floor, 37%, little shake and bake jumper, and then Gonzaga with a quick response at the other end. A free throw coming for Braden Huff. When we come back, tied at 25, Huff with 12. And welcome back. Here's your Arby's fan trivia question. Nicholls already out there on the key. They're waiting for the end of this timeout. Here's your answer to the Arby's trivia question. How many games did Coach Few win, or how many games did it take Coach Few to get to his 100th win? 126, gentlemen. That means his record was.
Who was that against?
126. I want to say it was USD. We'll have Brock look that up.
Brock will bring you the correct answer, Greg. One of the best in the business, sitting to your right.
Oh, I thought you meant me. USF, I was close. It was against USF. I'm thinking it was like February 15th, 2003. That's what my memory's telling me.
I'm thinking I was on the court when that happened.
And you don't remember it?
I'm thinking our producer, Chauncey, is telling you that in your ear.
Flush. What a feed from Amarian Ellis. And under the bucket was Makai Collins. And he throws it down, and Nicholls back in front. UConn defeated Xavier in overtime tonight. Hey, Graham Ike. And then stares down the bench. Ike with 7. Ellis, Stromer out there defensively. Then a pin. Stromer poked it away. Out of play, 10 to shoot, 5:01 to play in the first.
You know, I just can't express how impressed I've been with him on that end of the floor. And his growth defensively. The offense is still coming. He's shooting a really good clip, 47% or so from three. Only takes 4 shots a game. But when the offense comes, I mean, he's elite at this end of the floor.
Great save, but then throwing a fastball to Cheney was Michael Gray. So just their 3rd turnover of the game gives it back to Gonzaga. They're up by 2. Michael Ajayi now on the floor for Gonzaga, number 1.
Nicholls again here, dropping back into that zone.
We see the tentativeness from Gonzaga. They were in a man set, recognized its zone, and quickly try to readjust.
Okay, great space, missed a little jump hook.
Sometimes when you're switching defenses like that, you just have to be decisive in your cuts or in getting to your spacing and not necessarily worry too much if it is man or zone.
Gonzaga flowing with the ball right now. Good defense, couple of possessions in a row. Nembhard takes it away. He's got Ireland on skates. Ajayi! And the two-handed flush!
Well, the recognition that Ajayi was behind him is what separates him from a lot of other guards across the country, and the willingness to drop it off and let Ajayi get the
But he also slows down. I mean, he's not going a million miles an hour to the basket. He's letting his guys fill the lane, catch up.
You think he's watching the monitor up there?
To see his assist numbers?
The rebound.
No.
Biggest lead of the game right now for Gonzaga at 4. Here's Ajayi trying to get down the lane. He's tripped. Falls on the ball. Wentz is in pain. He's got a lot of hockey in him. He's up on his feet and he's fine. 3:25 to go. Nembhard, the anticipation, and then the dime to Ajayi. The Zags are coming to life, up by 4.
State graduated from there. Most recently was under Kevin Willard at Maryland, but it's a unique thing in that his coaching staff is the youngest staff in the country. So lots of experience to be gained from going and playing at places like Cincinnati earlier this season, as well as coming to Gonzaga, going to University of Washington after the Christmas break for them as well. But I like the team that he's put together. They compete, they're tough, they're athletic. They have not backed down.
Ajayi hits the front end. Michael now with 3 points. Averaging just under 8 points a game this season. The transfer from Pepperdine. Grew up on the west side of the state of Washington. Played a couple of years of junior college basketball.
And he certainly had the biggest adjustment this year. Coming in, you know, at Pepperdine, the ball in his hands a lot of that offense coming through him. And for Gonzaga, they're not calling anything for Michael. He's got to create his own offense. He thought he did a nice job against UConn on the glass. 3 offensive rebounds, was active.
Great drive, and Ajayi with the defense from behind. But Michael's one of my favorite stories of this year. Kid who grew up, had to go to the junior college route, played a couple of years, really had no offers after 2 years of JUCO, averaged 14 points a game. He was family friends with Isaiah Thomas, the former great player at the University of Washington who played for Lorenzo Romar, who was at the time the head coach down at Pepperdine. And Isaiah placed a call for Michael and got him a look down there at Pepperdine. And of course he went down there and played Malibu, and the rest is history now here at Gonzaga. And now he finds himself on some NBA prospect boards. 12 to shoot. 12-2 run right now for Gonzaga, and credit their defense. It's this end of the floor that has sparked it.
Yeah, starting to ramp up a little bit here defensively. Good activity. Nicholls does not look as comfortable as they had the first 10 minutes or so.
Well, they're finding some resistance is what's happening. And Nemhard, his first field goal from the elbow.
Oh, the patience in the pick and roll up top. You come off the first time, there's nothing there. Ike recognizes, just flip it, re-screen. Defender gets caught. Nemhard, nothing wrong with a 17-foot wide open jump shot.
Quick shot from Ike Cornish. Running rebound for Ryan Nemhard. And Ike had the legs of the chair pulled out from underneath him and a foul called on Sincere Malone. And he was sincere about that foul. So Dan is so good for someone's self-confidence. He always giggles at your jokes.
I'm a good teammate to you.
You are a good teammate.
Yeah.
You're implying I'm not.
That's kind of what he is.
I wasn't sure you were awake. I was looking
I gotta
over
be
there.
honest with you,
It looked
Greg.
like you were nodding
Last 20 seconds, I didn't hear a word you said. I was looking at the interaction between the head coach and the official, trying to read some lips. And
So you can't do two things at once.
Absolutely not. Ask my
No.
wife. There's no way.
Oh, by the way, Christmas gifts? Or how much cash did you give her?
Oh, it's her budget's whatever she wants it to be, buddy.
Yeah.
I think she still has some more to do, but I'm pretty confident that the things I bought her, she's going to like.
Do you know what she bought for herself from you?
You're right. I should rephrase it. I think the things she bought for herself from me are things she's going to like. I don't know. Actually, she wants me to be surprised in the morning.
Does she wrap them up or do you wrap them?
Oh, man, I'm going to get killed here, but she wraps her own gifts.
Ike running the floor and a chance for three. Ike into double digits now with 11.
Well, back to the game, Greg. That was a terrific push and transition and find from Nemhard. And that's what a good point guard does, is he rewards the bigs for getting out in transition. Threads the needle. Ike just keeps running the floor. Right-hand finish at the line for a three-point play.
I do want to offer some clarity here, though, to go back to that.
Yeah.
I have offered to do that.
But you're not good at it, so she said, just give me the cash.
Basically, yeah.
But you haven't set a budget. That's the interesting part to me.
Yeah, I'm not.
So you've let her free reign.
I'm not an idiot. Yeah, she deserves whatever she feels she needs.
Wow.
She's my wife's frugal. It's not like she's going crazy.
You don't know that.
Greg's asking some really
doesn't
difficult questions. Hey,
that's my
I feel for you, Rich.
My least favorite time of year. I have all these alerts, every time the card's used, and I get a lot of alerts. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. Ireland. Felt the contact. Step back, a couple of steps, and still buried it.
I mean, I know Ireland's only 4 of 11 for the field, but you have to be impressed defensively, and he just plays under control.
Ike spinning. Double team came. Nemhard, defense sloughed, and he makes him pay. Nemhard with 9.
Only his second shot of the night. Ryan shooting a lot better this year from 3, 38%. If you remember last year, just struggled in the non-conference, something like 15%.
Career now he's at 34%, but I think a lot of it is, just with the repetition over the summer, he's taking the right shots, and with that, your averages and percentages are going to go up.
Ike Cornish, great job to get back. Ireland's 3 is way off. Hickman the rebound, and Gonzaga will play for 1.
Missed Ajayi on the cut.
Nemhard, 3 on the way, that's off. But Gonzaga ends the first half on a 17-2 run, and they lead by 14.
Oh, and a nice way to finish that first half if you're Gonzaga, certainly, but you have to be disappointed with the overall 20 minutes. And if you're Nicholls, certainly you're down now 14, but you have to think if you can kind of slow it back down a little bit. I thought towards the end of that first half, Nicholls not part of the game plan. If they can slow it back down and get quality looks, they could dig into this lead. I still think we got a game here, fellas.
Zags just started hitting their shots. They ended up 13 of 24 in that first half, 54%, and then their defense really hung around Nicholls and made it very, very difficult on them. 17-2 run, 14-point lead. We're at the half in Spokane. And welcome back to the McCarthy Athletic Center. We're at the half. Number 13, Gonzaga 43, and the Nicholls Colonels out of the Southland Conference 29. Kind of a tale of 2 halves. It was all Nicholls in the first 10 minutes, and then Gonzaga went to work and finally got the lead on a three-point shot by Graham Ike, but really it was their defense that spurred the comeback.
Yeah, I think at about that 8-minute mark, probably at a timeout, the challenge was placed. Guys, we got to play some defense. After that, ball screen defense was much better, whether it was trapping, whether it was switching. Help side was reactive to make Nicholls in a position of being uncomfortable as opposed to reacting and being late. And I think when you do that, you can get out in transition where Gonzaga did their best.
Last 6 minutes or so, Nicholls 2 of 9 from the field, had 3 turnovers. Gonzaga able to capitalize on those. I think you're absolutely right, Greg. The defense ramped up, felt like there was just more energy on that end of the floor, and they started hitting shots. You said that towards the end of the first half.
That always helps.
It's amazing what kind of cure that is, just seeing the ball go through the hoop.
But it wasn't schematic, right?
No.
Out of that timeout, you just have to assume that Coach Few looked at every one of them in the eyes and said, hey, wake up. And
Stop
they did.
sleepwalking.
Yes, right? Like this isn't a walkthrough. This is a game, and it counts. And then the defense ramped up, and it created points. Gonzaga ends on a 17-2 run, and they're up.
Yeah, this is always
Or
the
they should
worst week of the season.
Yeah.
The week before Christmas, students are gone. You add on the fact they've lost the last couple games, obviously high profile games that they had a chance to win both of them. I'm not surprised they came out a bit slow, not what you wanted to see, but I thought they kind of started riding the ship there the last 5 or 6 minutes for sure.
You should have been a counselor.
Counselor for what?
Yeah, I just think that he always puts it in perspective, you know? Like, let's not be too hard on him. This is a really hard week for these guys. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Merry Christmas, Richard Fox. The inland Northwest, void of snow. It's very depressing. Look at those gray clouds, too. Why won't they just open up and bestow us with a mammoth amount of beautiful white snow for Christmas?
Well,
Anyway.
it's a weather pattern thing, and the weather pattern's just not right for that.
Boy, that wind today was epic, though.
Wow.
Okay, so it was a hot start for Nicholls. They got off to a fast start, came here on the road. It was obvious from the opening tip, Dan, they were here to play. 6 players scored in that first half.
Well, they've got a lot of experience across the roster, mostly juniors and seniors, a really good season a year ago, and they're trying to build on it, get to the NCAA tournament. But when you look at what they did early in that first half, is defensively they were very active, whether getting hands on balls or getting it off the glass, getting it down in the floor in transition quickly and allowing their guards a lot of space and a freedom to attack.
And then, Richard, the flip got switched for Gonzaga. It starts on the defensive end, ends in points.
Yeah, I just think Gonzaga got more active. I think Nicholls started rushing a bit on the offensive end. They took some bad shots that led to long rebounds, as you know, Dan. It's effectively an outlet pass for a team like Gonzaga. You know, for Nicholls to try to keep this thing tight, sometimes the best thing you can do is just have a shot clock violation. Don't force a bad shot, particularly early in the clock. And
that three by Ike gave him the lead at 29-27.
That seemed to kind of jumpstart Gonzaga. You see the dunk there by Ajayi just filling the lane, and Nembhard really obviously, it feels like he's always just in the mix, right? Gonzaga goes as Ryan goes. He creates so many easy opportunities for his teammates. You saw one right there for Graham as well. So I don't think we ever felt like Nicholls had the horsepower to probably keep this tight for 40 minutes. Certainly a great effort to start. Let's see if Gonzaga can extend it, or maybe Nicholls has something in their bag here in the second half.
You see the 13 points by Nicholls off of Gonzaga turnovers, and then the free throws. Gonzaga getting their 16 times made 15, while Nicholls only took 2 free throws in that first 20 minutes. All right, what was the sense in the locker room? Was it calm and relaxed, or was there a little heat?
Well, after that 8-minute media timeout, they really changed their demeanor on the floor and their energy on the floor. So I would imagine, the halftime message was, guys, that last 6.5, 7 minutes, that's how we need to play the whole 20 minutes. This is a good basketball team we're facing. We can't just expect to show up and then roll over.
Yeah, but 1 turnover during that stretch, Gonzaga started taking care of the ball. Look, I mean, I think if I was the coach, and I'd probably lost my mind, but that's why I'm not coaching. I don't think you necessarily just want to, make
go Bobby Knight on them.
Yeah, you got to keep perspective. As a staff, you've got to stay calm. You certainly want to push them. And I think the message is, look, that's who we are the last 8 minutes.
Yep.
That's who we are as a team. Let's put the 20 minutes here in the second half. Let's play the same way. I don't think you want to make this thing worse than it might be right now with respect to how this team's feeling about themselves after 2 bad losses, rather 2 difficult losses.
I don't want to know why. Who has the big second half for Gonzaga?
I think you're going to see Huff and EK keep going.
That's 2 people, Richard.
All right, I'm going to say Battle's going to go off for 13.
So that's 3. You took mine because Battle was quiet in the first half of 1 point.
This is what I deal with.
Or Hickman or Stromer. And, you know, quite frankly,
or June.
Ryan could have a good second half too. So that's my answer. That's my answer.
It's a good thing I don't drink.
Eggnog.
And welcome back to the McCarthy Athletic Center. 43-29 our score. Number 13 Gonzaga over Nicholls, the Colonels out of the Southland Conference. Bucknell up next for Gonzaga on Saturday. Will be here as well. Huff led GU with 13 points. EK right there with 12. Byron Ireland got off to a hot start. For Nicholls slowed down and then .5 minutes and 35 seconds. 43-29 our score, and now if you're Gonzaga, right, and it's the old adage in these games, first 5 minutes are important, really important for Nicholls. If they're going to have any chance, they'll do it in the 5 minutes. Gonzaga is going to put this away and get it to 20, a 20-point lead and beyond. We'll see that early as well.
I agree. It's, I think for Nicholls, important just to control the pace. They did such a good job of that. First 8-10 minutes of that first half. You can't turn it over. Gonzaga 16 points in transition. And right away you see the turnover.
Yeah, Gonzaga gave up 13 points off of their turnovers, second highest number this season. They gave up 18 points in turnovers in that game against the Hoosiers of Indiana.
Well, there's been games Gonzaga hasn't turned it over 9 times. They did that in the first half alone tonight.
That's what they're averaging on the years now.
Yeah.
And Shai got deep and then missed the turnaround. Tell you what, he's a lot to deal with when he gets the ball in deep like that. That's a big man out there.
Boy, if he could get that jump shot going with how he can attack the basket, he's a handful.
Foul called on Marion Ellis, the junior from Davenport, Iowa. Nembhard with 5 assists, 2 turnovers in that first half.
That's
catch and flush by EK.
That's just patience in the pick and roll. String out the defender just a little bit longer. Allow EK to find an angle to roll to the rim.
That's the 6th assist for Nembhard. Remember, 10 minutes of this game went by before Gonzaga got their first assist in this game. That shot for 3 is off by Gray. Gonzaga on the move again. They now have 14 field goals with 9 assists. So it wasn't for Gonzaga in that first half, it wasn't a gradual change.
Well, we had talked about there must have been a message at a timeout where you did see the defensive awareness and guarding pick and rolls and help side reactions was much better. Almost as this deja vu on that play. Nembhard to EK over the top in pick and roll situation for an easy 2.
And that first half against Kentucky, that's what EK killed the Wildcats in that first half.
Well, the pick and roll, he used his size, strength. Really, I mean, obviously Kentucky. Whoa.
Oh! EK went up high for the challenge. West couldn't get the dunk now, but he gave it his best effort. Nembhard's 3. Nembhard now into double digits with 12. And Gonzaga's largest lead is now at 18. And again, contest at the rim. And it's off of a zag, I believe. 17:46 to play.
And that is an attack. Oh, that's a foul.
That's a foul.
Wow, how did that get missed? We've got a really good officiating crew, but
I didn't see a foul.
Graham Ike with 2 hands. He could have got called for 2 fouls there.
I didn't see a foul. I didn't hear a whistle either. There's a foul and a bucket by Jamal West. Fouls on Battle. He doesn't agree.
Yeah, if you didn't see that, Greg, take another close look.
No. My point is I didn't see a whistle.
Okay.
There is no foul in the stat sheet.
Gotcha.
Gentlemen, there was no foul. I believe that facts are important. Let me just say that.
If you're playing pickup and that play occurs, there's about a 5-minute argument before play gets going again.
Ireland trying to hunt a shot here. Needs help. 12 to shoot. West is backing down and a foul called on Gonzaga. And that'll be against Ryan Nemhard. That'll be his first. That is 2 fouls on GU this half. Ike, the defense. And good defense it was. I thought West was going to get him a selfish shot, but Ike was there to keep it from the rim, and now the turnover, and back comes Nicholls. Gray to the post. The catch, stripped from behind by Ajayi. And now we might be even on, was it a foul?
Well, they're calling that on Graham, not Ajayi.
Okay. No, they called it on Ajayi.
Coach Few wants an explanation.
They just changed it. Well, they just changed it. Now they gave it to Ike. That's his first. And the free throw is off by Makai Collins. That was a quick look at it. Another look at it here.
Oh, yeah, Graham clearly got him.
And the whistle blues, so Greg knows it's a foul.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Richard. 1 of 2 from the line for Collins.
So does that mean there has to be a definitive yes or no for Greg? Because no more opinions from Greg?
I remember that.
Well, I never let facts generally get in the way of a good story. Let's be honest about that.
Jeez. Not only from Hickman to the cutting Nemhard, but then the willingness to give it up to Ike.
Ireland left open, rattles it in. His second 3 of the game.
Just really comfortable on that attempt there. I mean, Hickman's there, but not there.
That 3 attempt is off. Gonzaga 4 of 6 to begin the half.
Nice. Found the switch he wanted. Get Ike isolated up top.
Then he gave the ball up. And now a deep 3's on the way. Battle clears it. So you get Ike and you settle for a 23-foot jumper.
He's hit 2 here in the second half. Bit of a heat check, maybe.
Nemhard, Graham, missed it, loose. Back comes Nicholls. And a great step through and finish by a Marion Ellis. And Dusty Stromer up off the bench. He'll be coming in with Ben Gregg and Braden Huff. Ajayi missed the jumper. Home run ball. Ajayi got back there to defend.
Good effort there getting back after Michael, but I don't think that's the shot Gonzaga wanted as Nemhard uses the screen there from Ike to get to the rim.
Nemhard with 14 on 4 of 5 shooting. Gray from the elbow leans in and hits. Good looking shot. Again, it's Nicholls hanging in there. Nembhard into the lane. A little bit of a skid. Size advantage for Ike. May have gotten away with an elbow. Hickman buries the three from the top. Nolan with 5. His shot is so soft. Man, it goes through the twine so softly. Gonzaga got a hand on the pass. 14-11 or 14-11 to play in this second half. Zags with great ball movement. Ike with the lay-in, but Hickman to Nembhard to Ike. Zags up by 15. Gonzaga upcoming schedule brought to you by Idaho Central Credit Union, your financial success fan club. Bucknell is next. And then the showdown with the Bruins of UCLA. I think they've changed that game time on the 28th to 1 p.m.
Yeah, it is.
And then they head off into West Coast Conference play at Pepperdine on the 30th of December. Well, the Zags will return to the Spokane Arena again this season for the return of the CCF Classic benefiting the Community Cancer Fund. The Zags will take on the Portland Pilots for a WCC matchup on January 2. Tickets can be purchased through Tickets West, and additional information can be found at ccfclassic.com. That's always a great event, great cause, great game, great arena. If you missed the game against Baylor in that arena this year, you missed the dandy, but it is an opportunity for Zag fans who don't normally get into this building to see them play, to get into a bigger building where there's even more energy because there's nearly 11,000 people, I believe, in Spokane Veterans Memorial Arena. Support the cause. Get those tickets today. Ireland, the drive off the glass.
Wow. He's aggressive. We were saying this off air. This Nicholls team, if they can by chance win the Southland tournament title, make the NCAA, this is a roster that could give fits to somebody in that first round because of their guard play.
Stromer hits his first field goal, needed that 3 to go. I think it's just a matter of time where he's going to have one of those games where he hits 5 or 6 threes. I see it in practice. I see it in shoot-arounds. It's there.
Oh, he's a good shooter. There's no doubt. I just think it's hard. He doesn't get a lot of opportunities to pull the trigger. He's averaging about 4 shots a game, so when he misses or has a game where he goes 1 of 5, 1 of 4, it stands out more.
Ben Gregg, the defense.
Well, the other thing, though, to be fair,
there's some good debate going on between us and commercial breaks. And Richards, just keep sawing wood, Richard. Eventually you'll get there.
I understand nuance is hard for the two of you, so.
Nuance.
It's not your fault.
Braden Huff. Bingo.
Huff
with 19.
31 left, right, Richard?
That's right. He's well on his way.
Shot from the corner. The rise and drop. Robert Brown from Albany, New York. Let's say hi to my mom and dad tonight. They're watching in New York, speaking of Albany. Nembhard will go to the free throw line. Zags 10 of 15 this half, gentlemen, 67%. Nicholls 10 of 19, 52.6%.
Well, we're seeing them on the offensive end perfectly fine. The defensive intensity hasn't been what the last 6.5, 7 minutes were in that first half. But you have to credit Nicholls. They've hit a number of difficult shots as well here in the second.
Ben Gregg to catch. They'll shoot free throws. Was that on Ireland or was it on Sincere Malone? It is on Sincere. Ben Gregg, gentlemen.
Well, you have to
this final year.
Been here a while.
But it doesn't seem like it, does it?
I mean, he's been part of some really special groups. And if you think about last year, I mean, he was the catalyst for Gonzaga's run down the stretch when he got in that starting lineup. Greg, you and I had that game at Pepperdine.
Yeah.
Obviously, his impact at Kentucky. You know, a bit of a slow start to the year. Now 3 of 20 from the three-point line, but we all know he's going to start knocking those down. He's just, I love his impact. He just makes winning plays, small plays. You know, even when he doesn't score, he helps you win games.
Boy, there's a deep three. Ripped out Ben Gregg, the rebound, missed by Michael Gray. Braden into the corner. Dusty, jump stop, bang.
Second time he's done that. First half, Dan, you called it out. Shows the three-point shot. Controlled drive. You see his length right there on that finish, too, off 2 feet.
Love it when Dusty hunts shots.
He should take 13 or 14 a game.
Nice pass.
Oh, Ben Gregg. I think Nolan even went to the no look on that.
Nicholls starting to look a little gassed as they take a timeout here. That's really no excuse for that. Ben just out hustling everybody down the floor. Easy 2 for GU.
Braden Huff. Dusty on the attack. Hangs and hits. And then Nolan Hickman, no look. Ben Gregg runs the floor. 72-54. And welcome back to the McCarthy Athletic Center. 72-54, scored 9 minutes to play.
Found him.
Who are we looking for?
Waldo.
Who's Waldo?
Is he serious right now, Richard?
I think he might be, man. Let's just move on. Let's not deal with it. Let's just pretend it didn't happen. We do that all the time.
You never read books to your daughter when she was growing up?
I actually really didn't like those books. I found them really frustrating because I could never find them.
Of course I read that, but what's that got to do with Waldo?
It's like an all-time book.
It's an all-time book?
Well,
no, that would be like The Giving Tree.
Okay. I would imagine most school-age children at some point have seen, read, picked out a Waldo book.
Waldo's really not a book. It's more like an activity book, right? You're trying to find them in a crowd.
I thought it's more about an illustration.
Yeah,
It's a series of illustrations. Where's Waldo?
In book form.
So what's the guy? What's the guy?
He's wearing the outfit of Waldo.
Is that what Waldo wore?
Yes.
A Santa Claus cap.
No, it's the shirts. He resembles Waldo. I don't know if it's, I'm no longer talking about this. I am.
It's like the banana
done.
about a month ago.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
My mother-in-law's wanted to know what she should give me for Christmas. I'm telling her right now. It comes from Ireland or Scotland, and it's in liquid form.
How long's it been in the barrel?
Minimum 18 years.
That's your new pregame routine?
No, but I've been tempted many a time. Nice pass there from Hickman.
Hickman to Nemhard.
I really like the game Hickman's had tonight. I know he hasn't taken a ton of shots, only 2 of 3, but 4 assists now, 4 rebounds, just more active with the ball in his hands.
Well, yeah, struggled in the last 2. I mean, you go to Seattle, his hometown. I'm sure there's a lot of pressure and want to play well. He just didn't have the impact on that game. And then in Madison Square Garden, 0 points. And Dusty ended up picking up a lot of those minutes. So you like the all-around game that he's put together tonight.
Great night. Zags now with 20 assists, 27 field goals.
That's after not having a single assist the first 10 minutes of the game.
I was just going to say.
Pretty good. So if my math is right, that's about 20 assists in 23 minutes.
Interesting. Gonzaga, after being in that zone, drops back into man-to-man once the ball gets in a low block.
Here's Nemhard, Stromer. Bounce to Ben. 7:17 to go. Gonzaga up by 20. Brought to you by Multicare Health System. Whether you're at home or in the kennel, Multicare's team of doctors, nurses, and specialists partner with you all season long. Nemhard, lob to Graham. EK the flush.
He does such a good job, does Nemhard, of controlling the tempo and pace, whether it's pushing in transition or in the half court. Gets that screener's defender to fully commit, allowing a little bit of timing for EK to head to the rim on a roll and then simply throw the ball up where no one else can get it.
Yeah, I just got a photo of this Waldo character that looks exactly like him. So you were finally right about something, Richard.
Once a year. I got it in just under the wire.
Stromer. Pick it up and scores. Stromer with 7. Gonzaga up by 22. No look. And the bucket. Collins.
And a pass there from Ireland.
Stromer, 3 on the way. Bang!
Good recognition by Huff.
Second time he's found Stromer out there on the three-point line after the double comes down.
Catch and shoot. Gray missed. Ben Gregg clears it. His 7th rebound. Well, gentlemen, the way the schedule sits right now, Gonzaga with one more matchup against the top 25. And that is next Saturday against the Bruins of UCLA. And boy, there's, over the last 3, 4, 5 years, there's been some dandies between these two programs. But, Dan, how big of a game is that for Gonzaga on the national scene?
Well, it's a big-time game, simply for the fact UCLA was about top 15 preseason. They lost early to New Mexico on a neutral site game, but ever since that, they've been really good. They're back in the top 20. Their defense is as good as anybody in the country. You know that's going to be the case with Mick Cronin, but I think offensively, they're really starting to come around. Tyler Bilodeau, transferred from Oregon State's really good. Kobe Johnson from USC, and then they've gotten better guard play this year from Dylan Andrews than they did a season ago.
Oh, great possession there from Nicholls. Wow. Swung the ball. Good ball movement. And that's what, 3rd or 4th time Gonzaga's bigs have sprinted the floor and gotten an easy 2. You've got to get back if you're Nicholls.
And Huff now at 23. Step down the sideline. Turnover number 9.
Fifth time this year now. Braden Huff has gone for 20 or more. Such a luxury to bring a left-handed big with the scoring ability that he has off the bench.
Nemhard looks for the foul, doesn't get it. Stromer called for the foul at the other end. And look, Gonzaga get the victory tonight. They beat Bucknell on Saturday. And then they look to the UCLA Bruins. If they can beat UCLA, it's going to keep them right around that top 10 number heading into league.
Well, it's also a marquee win,
yes,
on your resume.
But when we look to the NCAA tournament and seeding, that game almost becomes imperative if you want that #1 spot, right?
And I don't know if the #1 seed's in the cards for Gonzaga, given the slate that teams in the Big 12, SEC, so on and so forth, they're going to have in the conference. But to me, more than anything, it's just the psychology of it. Is you've got a marquee game, not a true road game, but down in LA against a very good program in UCLA, a team that's a totally different type of style. You want to have that in your memory banks that you've played, a high major team. You found a way to win that game. I mean, right now the memory, the takeaway from some of these tough losses is you haven't found a way to win these games late. I think they want to have that in their bag as they get into the tournament.
Huff now at 25. So you think Gonzaga's chance at a #1 seed has already been lost?
I think it's hard. I haven't given it a ton of thought as you see another 3, but I mean, I'm trying to think about how that would happen if you see the Auburns of the world, Tennessee's, Kansas, so on and so forth, end up with just 4 or 5 losses in those leagues. As Hickman knocks down the 3, it comes down to resume, those types of wins. Gonzaga's not going to have that opportunity in league play. We know that.
Well, you look at it this way. After that game, they have, you would imagine for sure, 1 quad 1 opportunity on the road at St. Mary's. Maybe USF if they continue to play well, because they're hovering right around 50 in Ken Palm. But, the SEC, I believe, has 8 ranked teams right now. The SEC has 12 in the top 70 of Ken Palm. So you're looking at those SEC teams, almost every game in the league is a quad 1 or quad 2 opportunities. Gonzaga won't have as many as anybody in that conference.
So you're also thinking that Gonzaga...
I'm saying they won't have as many opportunities to bolster that resume, so it makes that UCLA game important to your point.
Yeah, I got you. 88-66. We'll talk more about that when we come back. I'm highly interested. And welcome back. Time to announce tonight's player of the game, presented by A to Z Rental. No job is too big or too small. With 8 convenient locations, we rent everything. Let A to Z Rental be your most valuable player. Tonight's most valuable player is Brayton Huff with 25. He's 11 of 12 from the floor with 6 rebounds.
Coming into tonight's game, he's shooting 55% from the field. I mean, he's had some easy opportunities based on being in the right place on the offensive glass, but he's also really created opportunities such as that last one we saw there with carving out space and angles through his footwork.
Well, I think it's important tonight, though, for both Huff and Ike to see the ball go through the hoop. I thought Braden was active, competed against UConn, but only 4 of 10. Obviously, Ike really struggled that night. Huff didn't have much of a game against Kentucky. Second half for Ike, he struggled. Just to see the ball go to the hoop. I mean, no one's going to mistake Nicholls at the airport tomorrow for Kentucky or Connecticut with respect to the size. But still, just sometimes it's that simple, right? And just see the ball go through the hoop.
I think that's equally as important for Dusty Stromer.
Agreed.
If this team makes the run that they all are working towards, they're going to need another shooter that's connecting from outside to do that, in my opinion. Otherwise, you just slough in on Huff and Ben Gregg and Graham Ike. It makes it really hard inside.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't shot the ball well collectively, Gonzaga, on the year. Hovering around, I think, 33-34%. I think we all agree they're a better shooting team than that. Part of that is Ajayi and Gregg have not shot the ball well to start the year.
Whistle on a foul called here on Nicholls. How hard were these games for you guys around Christmas?
Well, Richard touched on it earlier. You just got done playing 2 high-profile games against big-time teams. You're already done with finals. The energy in the building is not quite the same with the students being gone. Usually you're excited to go home and see family and friends for a couple days. But it's one of those things you have to have that professional approach to get the job done so that you can go home over Christmas break with a good feeling. Because one of the worst things is going home not having played your best or even on a loss, because trust me, as a player, you don't forget it, but coaches forget it even less. So that first practice back could be interesting.
Caleb Battle on the floor for GU. There's an open 3 from the top of the key is long. Graham with another rebound. He's got 6. Zags 19 of 21 from the free throw line tonight. 7 of 15 from 3. They're 76% shooting this half as the number goes up. And 65.3, 66 now for the game, and 76.9 in this half. And 3-point shot there by number 9, Michael Gray. Nolan Hickman. Why not? He's into double digits.
Another guy, just a nice bounce back performance, really well-rounded with Hickman tonight. 6 rebounds and 5 assists, made some shots.
Zags with 5 players tonight in double digits. And look, you guys touted Nicholls' defense when this game started. Gonzaga shooting 67% for the game. And that's after what Brock just gave you the numbers, like an 0 for 3 start. Or 3 for 10 start they started. And since, they're 31 of 41.
That's a better percentage.
They start 3 of 10. They're 31 of 41 since. And mass substitutions now for GU. So since that 3 for 10 start, Gonzaga shooting 31 of 41, which is 76%. That's incredible.
That's a well-oiled offensive machine. They've always had talented
But I'm
pieces,
not sensing you two are impressed enough by that.
Well, the response over the last 32 minutes, 30-so minutes has been really good. Crisp offense with pace, with spacing, with timing, and then the ability to finish it out by knocking down shots or finishing around the rim has been really good. I don't know what more you want us to say.
And Achente from the free throw line. Another one goes in. Well, I don't know. I just want you to be excited. It's Christmas, and the Zags are up by 27. Waldo's in the house. I mean, all is good tonight in Zagville. Joe Few on the floor. Jun Suk Yo. Backdoor cut. Hickman missed it. Ben Gregg trying to keep it alive. And a foul is called against Nicholls. I really do hope we get some snow.
No snow in the forecast before Christmas.
Yeah, it's been oddly dry. I mean, just a little bit of snow early in the week, but it's all gone.
Ben Gregg won't have to do much work on all the heating units out there over the Christmas break. That's the good thing with no snow. People won't have to turn their heaters on like they normally do.
Well, it's still cold out.
Yeah, he's quite a talented guy. Have you ever seen him work on one of those heaters? I've seen him in the commercial.
Yeah, he looks. Yeah, he clearly understands what he's looking at. It's
man of many talents.
Yes. Here's June. Spins. And free throws coming. I just wonder if you guys had played during the NIL days.
I was just thinking
what
about that.
we would have, what commercials like Dan would have been in like a Vidal Sassoon commercial.
He'd be, like driving in, some Mercedes ad. I would have been like,
Richard would have been
pizza pipeline or something.
Pizza.
Get your subs.
Yeah.
Pepperoni pizza, $12.
You'd be like a delivery guy.
I'd be like, how much you want us to pay? I'd be like, just 1 free subs, man.
Sitting in the back seat, having to take the front seat out to drive in those little cars. I could see that.
I've
Pizza
actually had that happen.
Pizza pipeline. I ordered that for my son's team the other day after practice. It was good.
It was?
Very good.
Ben Gregg working hard for the miss. Now a Caleb Robinson shot. Zags at 100 points now, 100 to 72. We'll go to the free throw line. Students aren't here. Kind of a different atmosphere.
It's remarkable. Every year, how jarring it is, especially the first game back.
But remember COVID? Like, just remember COVID.
Oh, man.
When there was
crazy.
nobody in
We were calling it, 40 feet up?
And we had to be separated.
And they brought the...
I couldn't be by my buddies.
They piped the sound in, and it was terrible.
Yeah. you could pay to have your face on a seat.
I totally forgot about that, man. That was surreal.
I know. It's all perspective, right?
It's the glass all around us.
Yeah.
That was the Suggs year, yeah. I remember watching that team thinking, no one gets to see this.
Yeah,
this
you
is
didn't get
crazy.
to see it live.
Not even their parents.
Yeah, it was nuts. I think it started loosening up, obviously, towards the end of that season. But
did it? I don't remember it loosening up.
Yeah, they did a little bit.
I just remember getting in trouble by the health district for not wearing a mask during a game I called.
It'd be hard to do that, call a game with a mask on.
Well, we had to. Shot in the corner is off. 45 seconds to play. Better days ahead. Inocente. Ben Gregg. Here's June. Just left it a bit short. Taken away by Emmanuel. Now the lob to Hickman. But Samuel back to cut it off, or Caleb Robinson, I'm sorry. And now the three in transition. That's short from Ike Cornish. And another shot. Ike is 0 for 2. And now a three from the other side. Lined up, and that is short from Robert Brown. And now Emmanuel Inocente. Turned down the bucket. And Gonzaga wins it 102-72. Classy move there by Emmanuel.
Well, after a slow start offensively for Gonzaga, and I think you got to give Nicholls a lot of credit in that first half to their defensive approach early. Gonzaga found their rhythm on the offensive end, and you touched on it towards the end. Finished right around 75% from the game from the field. Safe to say that Gonzaga is back on the offensive end.
Yeah, it was like a switch flipped. Zags win by 30, but Richard Fox is in position, ladies and gentlemen. He has a scintillating interview coming your way when we come back. So don't turn away just yet. Richard Fox and an interview. Zags win by 30. We're back in a moment. The Athletic Center, number 13 Gonzaga, 102. Nicholls out of the Southland Conference, 72. And welcome back courtside with Greg Heister and Dan Dickow. And we are going to go right over now to Richard Fox, who's with our player of the game, Mr. Braden Huff.
All right, fellas, here with Braden. Braden, first thing I want to know is how good did it feel to be finally at home? I know there's no students, but just to be able to play here, been on the road for 28 days, it had to feel nice.
Yeah, it felt good. Like you said, no students, so a little bit different atmosphere, but to be back in the kennel, it felt good, and to get back in the dub column, that was big for us.
I mean, a little bit of a slow start coming out of there in the first half. Seemed to kind of right the ship 8-10 minutes into that first half. What was the message at halftime? What was the adjustments you guys felt like you had to make?
Yeah, I mean, we felt like we were pretty lazy in that first half, giving up too much transition, a lot of turnovers that led to easy buckets, open threes. So just staying on that, and we know what we're capable of, and we hold ourselves to a higher standard. So making sure we came out in the second half with more intensity.
Now, I remember when I played, getting to go home for Christmas was a highlight. You know, despite as much fun as it is playing, just be able to go home. What's the meal you're hoping mom and dad make for you when you get home?
My dad makes like chicken piccata. It's like a lemon chicken. Yeah, that's one of my favorite dishes. So that's what I'm excited for.
Awesome. Well, hey, enjoy the time at home. Appreciate your time. You made me hungry. Back to you guys.
You know, what's crazy about Richard Fox is taller than Braden Huff.
Richard's a big guy.
He's a big man, and well, I won't go there. But okay, so Dan, give us a sense, big picture stuff, right? 30,000 feet up. We're not on a drone. We're in an airplane. We're in an airplane. Okay. But what do we think about this Gonzaga team? What is the ceiling?
Oh, the ceiling is still a Final Four. And I think this team has that capability. And if you look across the landscape of college basketball, they're one of maybe 10 to 12 teams that can realistically say that. I think when you look at the 3 losses that they had, they were in every single one of those. A miscue in regards to understanding of the rules towards the end of the game in the Bahamas against West Virginia. And then you look at the Kentucky game, they just couldn't make a shot in the second half. I think it missed their last 18 three-point attempts. And then the UConn game, they fell down 13-2. They battled back, made it a game, but then they couldn't get that bucket or two or that stop to make it a one-possession game in that final minute. So we could easily be talking about an undefeated or one-loss team. That being said, that first 10 minutes or so tonight, a little bit soft, a little bit late to react, but the response was tremendous. I mean, to put up 102 points against, again, what I think is a good defensive team was a good showing, and I think this was a good get-right game. and there's one more of those against Bucknell before they break, because that challenge against UCLA before they go to league play, I think is very important.
And Richard, I love Braden's honesty. We were lazy.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, you have to be real with yourself, individually, but also collectively. Yeah, it is nice to hear that, right? No excuses, but I just caught the tail end of what Dan said. I totally agree. I think just the response in the first half and certainly the last 20 minutes is what you want to see from a team that we think is one of the best teams in the country. That's how good those types of teams respond.
Well, and you don't think that this team is a shoo-in for #1 seed even if they win against UCLA? You think that other things have to happen for this team to still get there?
I do.
What is the ceiling? We got Dan's ceiling. What do you think your ceiling?
With respect to like a seed?
No, just overall, big picture.
Oh, I think this is a team that's built to make a run and get to a Final Four.
Okay.
The challenge is, I just think the parity in college in Division I basketball has never been greater. I think NIL has flattened out talent. There's more talent, and it's spread out across the country. I'm not going to be surprised to see the team that finishes 5th in the SEC championship, and that's the kind of depth there is, in my opinion.
Bah humbug.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you Saturday. More scintillating television coming your way.